Now, the most violent, one defendant pled guilty to a felony for assaulting a police officer. 20 or so pled to misdemeanors. But not a single defendant who went to trial or was set to, whether or not they committed any violence, was convicted. Those nearly 200 cases either ended in acquittals, dismissals, or dropped charges. And one of the main reasons, the conduct of the lead prosecutor. Former D.C. Assistant U.S. Attorney Jennifer Kerkhoff Muyskens, who now stands accused of professional misconduct in an ethics complaint filed against her by the D.C. Bar Board on Professional Responsibility. Muyskens and a D.C. police detective are accused of relying on edited video from far-right activist group Project Veritas as evidence in court, and then lying about the source of the video, which showed protesters organizing in the days before the inauguration. Now, the other allegation is that they edited the video further themselves to hide the fact that the clips came from Project Veritas, seemingly so defense attorneys wouldn't find out. The complaint says that the unedited videos and the ones that weren't turned over showed the majority of the protesters, quote, were trained and instructed to expect a nonviolent protest, to remain nonviolent, to use nonviolent violence and de-escalation techniques with police and counter-protesters, and to comply with police instructions. Muyskens is also accused of lying to judges, defense attorneys, and even internal investigators at the DOJ. In response to the filing, Muyskens denies any wrongdoing. She's still with the DOJ as an assistant AUSA in Utah, but after the ethics complaint, which could result in the loss of her law license, she's reportedly been dropped from all her federal cases in Utah. Now, you may be wondering, why haven't I heard anything about this? Well, I don't know. Maybe the left doesn't want to focus on something that makes the DOJ look bad, and for the right, this doesn't fit into the narrative of a DOJ biased against Republicans. I mean, you can count on it. If this were right-leaning protesters supposedly persecuted with falsified evidence, this would be getting a ton of attention from the right-wing media. But joining me now is Alexei Wood. He was an independent photojournalist among the hundreds of protesters arrested, later acquitted in a 5-week trial. Says he was unfairly targeted. Thanks very much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. All right. So the theory here was that all of these protesters were wearing black and they were wearing masks to hide their identity, et cetera. Were you?
No, I was there as a journalist. I didn't cover my face with anything, and I actually live streamed the entire thing from beginning to end.
So what do you think happened here?
I think there was, I think Jenny K was an overzealous prosecutor, and she's basically a careerist, and she just wanted to win at all costs, and she was willing to cheat. And she had no case from the beginning, but she doctored videos and she withheld videos and just came at 230 of us with conspiracy charges and 8 felonies, everything. And it was just this really collective punishment kind of style. And I think it was a political showcase. And I think it had everything to do with her stats and had nothing to do with justice.
And the government had decided to charge all the arrested participants, even the individuals who were nonviolent. You had a 5-week trial. What happened at the trial? How did the jury have a tough time acquitting you?
No, I mean, we signed we did a collective defense, and we went in with 6 total, myself being one of them, so with 5 other co-defendants, and we signed up to go first because we knew that Jenny K was bluffing and that she was ramrodding protest, and we all believed in protests and free speech, and we showed up to do it first. And so we were in we signed up to do that 5-week trial because we knew she had nothing and she was wrong.
But to be clear, you were not there to protest, correct?
That's correct. I was there as a journalist capacity.
And you didn't attack any cops, you didn't throw stuff, you didn't engage in vandalism, et cetera.
Correct, that I did not do any of that stuff, and the live stream proved that I did not do any of that stuff.
Right. Because, again, I've always been of the position that people who engage even in vandalism, in protests, I don't care what their political view, in my view, should be prosecuted, which is why I wanted to clarify that. And, again, you were acquitted after a 5-week trial. Alexei Wood, thank you so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.